Welcome to Not a Gray Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katy Ray. I am joined with the beautiful Holly Young, and strong and fit and amazing. And I just met Holly last week.
Yeah.
We were introduced from my best friend, Maggie, and I was like, amazing. Thank you for introducing me to her. She's going to be on my podcast, so thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
First podcast.
Yes.
All right. By like the middle of like us talking, you just get super relaxed. So don't worry. So let's jump into how you are where you are today, doing wellness altogether for people and coaching people and just really motivating people.
So I moved to Florida in 2013, and I always knew that I wanted to have this lifestyle where I was on the beach. I've always wanted to get paid to be on the beach. I've always said that. That's my dream, is to get paid to be on the beach. So
was lifeguard not an issue?
Option? Lifeguard wasn't an option at that time because I didn't know how to swim. So that definitely wasn't an option. But I did seriously think of things like, oh, could I test tanning oils? Like, would someone pay me to test tanning oils? Like, what could I do to get paid to be on the beach?
Oh my God, I love that you thought of those ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I mean, I've thought of so many ideas to get paid to be on the beach. So I was working for a company, a women's shoe company, who agreed to transfer me to Florida with the stipulation that I would spend 1 year in Little Rock, Arkansas first. So I did that. And while I was down there, the company filed for bankruptcy, and I was without a job in Little Rock, Arkansas, where I didn't have, I had some friends that I had made, but I had no ties to Little Rock, Arkansas. I was there because it was a step to getting to Florida, to being closer to the beach. So during that time, I was really fortunate because that's when I reconnected with a guy that I went to college with when I was, 19, 20, and we got engaged. And so when we got engaged, I was in Little Rock, he was in Los Angeles, and, I knew I didn't want to live in California again. That's where we met. I knew I didn't want to live in California again. So I said, would you be willing to move to Clearwater, Florida? He said, yeah, let me put in a month notice at my job. And he moved everything out here, and we've been here for 8 years. So we love it, by the way. But when he got here and when we got here, I said, I want to live this healthy lifestyle where I walk everywhere, ride a bike. I want to be on the beach all the time. And, that all sounded great. But real life kicked in. We had to get jobs, like real jobs to pay rent. So it didn't happen for me right away. But after the birth of my son, I started working out, and just a series of events led me to realizing that my passion and my purpose at this stage of my life is to help other people get fit and get healthy. And now I do train people at their house, at the park, and on the beach.
Yeah. That's why you're going to do a beach workout. I was like, yeah. I was like, now it all fits. You're like, I love beach workouts.
Yeah.
Well, so you figured out the job to do on the beach.
Right.
So what was it when your son was born? I love how I think we talked about this, like your adventurous lifestyle and like just doing different things off of like your bucket list. Can you talk about how that came about? Like, was that a conversation with your husband? Was it like, hey, this is what I want to do? Or was he like already on board?
Not at all. Really, when I was pregnant with my son, an acquaintance had told me, another mom, she said, when you become a mom, you never get your body back. And for some reason, that was one of the most powerful things that someone had ever said to me in my life. I don't know why. I wasn't close friends with this lady, but it kind of set off this little bomb in my head that my life was getting ready to go downhill, that I wasn't going to have fun anymore, that I wasn't going to be, I wasn't going to look the way I wanted to look anymore. And I don't know why I believed that, because there's other examples out there of women who look amazing, feel amazing, have amazing lives as moms. But for some reason, that kind of sent me into a little bit of a depression. So when I had my son and my husband was working full time, and I was at home with him all day long, and I had a baby who had to be held 24/7. And, probably about 6 months into that life of I didn't have, my body back. I went into the hospital. I was 244 pounds. And that was the heaviest I've ever been in my whole life. And so I was, not thrilled with how I looked. When you're a stay-at-home mom, my hair was crazy and I just looked a mess, and I felt a mess too, because I felt alone. I'm out here with no family. I didn't have a ton of close friends. So, well, one day I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, I have got to be able to put this child down for my sanity. So I found a Zumba instructor who allowed me to bring Sonni, my son, into the Zumba class, put him in a stroller, and I could put his cartoons there on the phone, and he would watch the cartoons while I worked out. And after that workout, I was hooked. To be able to have an hour to dance and
your arms
to
back,
feel I felt like myself again. I felt like Holly, like a real person, not just a mom, which I love being a mom, but I felt like I was losing myself. And so I started doing Zumba like 6 days a week. I was addicted. Any Zumba class I could get into, I was going, because it gave me a chance to be able to be myself, and started losing weight, and I started feeling awesome. I started feeling confident. So I just started doing other things. I started lifting weights. I got a trainer and I ran a 5K, and that was something I never thought I would do, because I thought only crazy people would run. Like, wow, who does that for fun? And it was actually right when I crossed the finish line of this 5K that we trained for. Me and my husband both did it. We brought some friends with us. And when I crossed that finish line, I knew literally at that moment, like something just tapped me on the shoulder and said, you are supposed to help other people realize that you can do it. You don't have to take someone else's settle, and accept someone else's settle.
I think all those points of just being a mom and getting in the swing of I feel the you're never going to get your body back comment, because at the point you were at, like, it really, like, words hurt, of course, at different seasons of life, but like you were like, wait, it's not going to be my body anymore. Like, I don't, like you were like in it, and you were just like, wait. And it was kind of like a mental thing. So I felt all of that. I feel all of that. I know other moms feel that. Because you are, like, in the back of your head, we are just like, you're growing a human. It's so beautiful. And then right after you give birth, they're like, why isn't your body back? Why are you? And you're like, what? Like, can I have some time to feel good again? Because like everything's everywhere. And that's such a good, real perspective you bring to wellness in general, because I love working out. The break I get, that hour of just me, even though sometimes I bring the oldest because he just wants to come in. I love that if, he's learning early, but that's kind of like my hour of just like time to do something, feel stronger, feel like the best. But like mental health is so important. And if people are just coming in to be like, I burned calories today, it's such a different experience. And I feel like you can see that with people. Because for me, it's really like my mind, like, okay, maybe I'll go a little heavier today. Maybe I won't, whatever weights I want to do. It's not a big deal. But it's kind of crazy. And you provide that full wellness experience of just kind of getting to the root of it, feeling good, wanting to do it instead of making it such a job.
Yeah. And during that hour, because I didn't believe I could get my body back, I wasn't going for an aesthetic. I wasn't going to look amazing because I didn't think it was possible. For some reason, I really took that comment to heart, and I really believed it at that moment. So I was really going back every day because it just made me feel so good and proud of myself to be able to to move again. I spent a lot of time on the couch as a pregnant mom because I was in a lot of pain. So, I had a couple of difficulties during my childbirth. So I was on the sofa quite a bit, but, it just felt good. And, as I kept moving, I started to realize, oh, I'm losing weight. This feels good. Let's keep this going.
Yeah, this is the best version of me right now.
Yes.
Like, here I am. And that's another thing. I love all these points you're bringing up because it's just so real. Is like, when are we giving women a chance to heal from complications, from not being able to walk like everyone else? Or you have some pregnant women that can work out the whole time they're pregnant.
Right.
I couldn't. Like, it's just like and it's just such a extra mental F word, but it's just like so much extra on women. And it's like they expect you to just jump back into a routine for you when you've gone through this whole process. And I think that's a good point you brought up. Like, you didn't go because it was to lose weight. You went because here you're feeling like you again. And it was 6 months after?
Yeah.
Sonni, right? Sonni was born. Yeah. And it takes time. I mean, it took me like a year and a half to not have mom guilt to leave my daughter when my first daughter was born. So I was like, it took too long, but it took time to get like back into a routine for myself. But I'm a huge believer that just like telling women, like, it's okay. Like, you have to be okay. Like, you can't just put everything and sacrifice your whole being.
Yeah.
Because we do that mom, and you're going to have mom guilt. It's just like a general thing. But I think it's super important that when you educate your clients and the way you do it is focused on their just wellness in general.
Yeah. I guess society teaches women to sacrifice themselves, their bodies, their health, mentally and spiritually, to put their families first. And I just totally disagree with that, because if you have nothing in your cup, if your cup is not full, how can you pour out to other people? So, I don't know when I realized that it was not only was it not selfish to work out and to do things that made me feel good about myself, it was mandatory. It was necessary. In order for me to be a great wife, I had to be happy. In order for me to be a patient mom, I had to have a release. I had to have time away from my son. It's you burn out.
Patient is a great word to add there.
You're
like patient mom. Like, I can be a mom with a really, really fast temper, like so bad. So the fact that you said patient, nailed it. I need this because I am going to yell a lot.
Right.
So talk about how your change of lifestyle just kind of led the people around you, like your husband, to also lead that. I love that because, show them, don't tell them. Like, it just kind of proves the point.
Yeah. Well, during my pregnancy, my husband's always been tall and lean, like a basketball player. But during my pregnancy, we were eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with milk every night, and he gained some weight. I mean,
that isn't a part of your nutrition plan?
No,
I don't want to sign up. Thank you so much.
Yeah, right. So he had gained some weight, but it wasn't really even noticeable. I didn't look at him and think, "Wow, you need to lose weight." But he was having some issues, some heart palpitations, and it started to get really scary. A few nights, with like 2 different occasions, we had to go to the emergency room because he was having these heart palpitations, and it was waking him up out of his sleep. It was really, really scary. And that kind of led me to, start exploring nutrition. What is causing these heart palpitations? Because we were spending big money to go get sleep testing for him. He was being hooked up to things while he was sleeping. He was doing stress tests. And this stuff all costs money. And we're going from cardiologist to cardiologist to find out what is wrong with his heart. And we weren't getting an answer. No one had anything clear. And it was really making me upset because I'm like, why are we paying all these bills and you don't have a clear answer for us about what he can do? I mean, the best answer that I got was from one cardiologist who said, he might be magnesium deficient. Maybe he should take magnesium. That was the best suggestion. So I really dug in and spent hours and hours looking at what can we do to help my husband with these heart palpitations. And I started digging into nutrition. And around that time, we got food poisoning from some pulled pork that I had cooked. It was one of my husband's favorite recipes at the time.
A crock pot?
It was in a crock pot. It cooked overnight. So this is well done, It's not that it's raw or anything like that or undercooked. And we both got food poisoning. And about day 3, we are feeling like we're going to die. And my husband says, I'm never eating meat again. And I said, okay, I'm right there with you.
It was kind of him.
It was him.
It was, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It was him. So, he said, I'm never eating meat again. So at the time we thought, okay, we'll be pescatarian. So we changed our diet. We were pescatarian for about 3 months. And
there's just so much fish you can have.
We were making a special trip to a fish market just for fish and getting all of our produce elsewhere. And I kind of just said, as the grocery shopper, can we just give that up?
We'll go vegan now.
So we went vegan. And then after being vegan so long, we, started just finding out about animal processing and, what happens with these animals. And then ethics and values started to change a little bit for us. And it's been 4 years now. And I say that to say that about a year and a half into it, Sean said, hey, you know what I just realized? I haven't had these heart palpitations. They're gone. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of a night owl because I'm the trauma of him waking up saying, I think I'm going to die. I have to get to the ER. It's caused me to be a night owl. So I would lay up waiting if something was going to happen to him. And I said, yeah, I've been sleeping easier. You haven't been waking up in the middle of the night. So maybe it's the diet. Maybe this is the best diet. And that led me to reading even more, researching even more. And, really, I do feel it has been the best diet for us.
Did you always cook? Do you find it more time? Is it something different you had to incorporate cooking all the time and finding options?
Oh, yeah.
Because we're a society that is not.
Yeah. When we create our meal plan, or you're at the grocery store shopping, at least for us, it was, okay, I got my meat. What am I going to eat with my meat? If I'm cooking chicken this day and then I'm cooking pork this day, or I'm cooking a steak, what am I going to eat with that? Yep. It was, meat dominant meal planning. And so I remember the first time I went to the grocery store shopping as a vegan, I thought, when the hell am I going to eat now? We just eat sides?
Do we just have pasta?
I was like, yeah, is it just green beans, corn, carrots? That doesn't sound good to me. That sounds so boring.
Every time I come to the store.
I laughed at the grocery store. I just stood there and laughed because I was like, this is crazy.
How do I shop
How are we going to buy food now? So it was a total rework of our approach to meal planning to start,
so
having
what about your
real
son,
meals.
Though?
He's been vegan since birth.
Yeah, right? So it's not even.
He's been vegan since birth, yeah. He was breastfeeding when this all happened with the food poisoning and the couple times that we had tried to give him meat as an infant, he would get fevers. So we just didn't give it to him.
Wow. And then, so is this 4 years then? When you have clients, do you offer different types of nutrition for them for the way
I do work with people who are not ready to go plant-based. So in my business, I do meal planning and shopping list and meal prep notes. Cool. And I do help people that aren't ready to go vegan. But my passion is helping people go
Full wellness.
full
Yeah.
vegan
Yeah.
because I really do believe it is the key to getting off medications and fixing some of these illnesses that they have. It starts with our fork. Nutrition starts with our fork. I mean, it can work you out all day long.
All day.
And, I have had clients in the past who are doing the workouts and not seeing the big changes they want to see. And so, my preferred approach is getting you fixed nutritionally before we start working out because that's where you're going to see the biggest results.
And then, of course, the combo of it just feels good.
It's amazing.
But I 100 back that just from my life is fluctuating weights and all of this like that. It definitely 100% starts in the kitchen. And I even feel I went vegan not for long with my sister, but it stopped me. I can't eat dairy any way that I used to. Like if there's like a small amount of cheese in like a salad, I'm okay. But like there's no way I can just down pizza like I used to because I am destroyed. Like I'm like, I feel horrible right now. And I feel like your body's like, why are you bringing this back? You took it away for so long. Like get it out of here.
Yeah.
So I feel you. It's a hard move because I'm like a protein, so I 100% think because when my kids, like I can sense like some sickness, I'm like, hey, you better eat all these veggies and fruits today. Like food's your medicine. Like, let's do this. I don't feel like going to the doctor later. Like, come on. So it is like that, but I'm one for science as well. So, it's so true that we think like, oh, I'm just going to run off that 4 pieces of cheesecake I had.
Right. It just doesn't work that way. I'm
just going to jog that out later.
Yeah.
It's like, are you? I mean, treat yourself, right? Like have your things. But how do you feel of that? Like when people say cheat days, what's your thing on that? I love talking to wellness coaches about that because I feel like then you're saying the other day, like you're just having a bad day. I don't know. It's a weird word, I feel like.
For me, if I have to have a diet that I need to cheat on, it's not that great of a diet. It's not that sustainable. So I'm all about sustainable. I'm all about balance. And I love a good vegan ice cream. But I also, from the grocery store, like I love Ben and Jerry's Netflix and chilled. It's, oh my gosh, it's so good. But it's got a ton of crappy ingredients in it. And I don't feel good about it when I finish it. So I make ice cream at home that doesn't have any crap in it. I just use frozen bananas and frozen mangoes, and it makes a delicious ice cream that I can enjoy too. So I don't really need that.
How hard was it to transition to that though? Not making it, but buying it, or it was like the convenience, right?
Yeah, the convenience. Well, Sean and I have always been cooks, so we're used to being in the kitchen and cooking our meals. So that's not a big problem. But yeah, I went back to school after Sonni was born and got a degree. So during that time, convenience meals were important to us. So, but I learned to incorporate, frozen vegetables instead of maybe fresh, having things pre-cut up for me instead of feeling like I have to cut every vegetable myself. So that's kind of where the convenience foods happen for us.
And how were you able to not feel so guilty about it? Because I feel like that is what I feel like, like if I'm picking up like a frozen meal or something like that, I'm like, oh, why couldn't I cook this today? Or how do you kind of overcome that?
Well, I had to think about my why. Why am I doing this? Why do I
bigger picture?
Why I need to do this right now? And this is so that I can get this degree, so that I can move forward with my goals. And it's really the last 5 years have been all about me in a way because I've pursued all these goals that I that were important to me. And because I pursued so many goals, achieved so many things that I wanted to do, I am so freaking happy every morning that I feel like the best mom my son could have. I feel like the best wife my husband can have.
Patient mom.
The most patient mom. And, I'm not perfect, but I feel so good about my life and who I am as a person. that it's all worth it.
Yeah. And your
Yeah.
grace you give yourself. But
Yeah.
so you've had the talk. So you remind yourself of the why, because we all give ourselves this shame that we have to do something because we can't give all in this part right now because we're actually getting a degree. We don't have time for an hour of cooking prep.
Right.
So I love the real part of that, because we do, in a sense, have to kind of have those conversations with ourselves. Like, snap out of it, Katie. This is why you're doing it. And of course, there's always like little hiccups along the way. I mean, it took you probably, on year 4 of being vegan, but how many things you've learned along the way of what you can eat and like how fast you can cook up a recipe and things you can like substitute. So I feel like I love that you're just like always growing. And what was the degree in?
Management and organizational leadership. My focus was entrepreneurship. So I knew going into it that I wanted to work for myself and create this wellness business. This is I'm in the period of my life now where I'm ready to give back.
Yeah. And you did that after Sonni was born?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's amazing. On top of starting your Zumba 6 months later. So some of your goals now for yourself and for your clients, like what is it that you see doing with yourself doing for them?
I think right now the most important thing is launching these retreats. So I have nutrition clients who just focus on nutrition. I have fitness clients who just hire me to work out. But I think the biggest gap that I see right now amongst my own circles that I'm in society, is bringing it together with mental health. And, we're starting to have these great conversations about mental health, but when it comes to working out and eating right, I still don't hear it enough in the wellness space. So my goal is to train people mentally, physically, and help them with their nutrition so that they can have the whole package. Because it takes the whole package to replicate. If someone says to me, Holly, I want what you have. I want to wake up with tons of energy. I want to feel like the best mom. I want to feel like the best wife or the best husband. I just want to feel great. You're not going to get there with just fitness. You're not going to get there with just nutrition. It's a whole life package. It's mental health. My mental health is better than it's ever been. And it's because I have poured so much into myself. So I'm ready to teach people how to pour into themselves, not just with fitness and nutrition, but also with mental health. And it involves setting big, crazy, scary goals and going after them.
And that's what you're doing. And that's what's awesome, because you've been through the hard days to get here. So that also helps people realize like it wasn't all you put the work in.
Yeah.
And you did.
It's definitely not all grits and gravy, as I would say.
Yeah, exactly. And of course you say that Kansas City.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what have you noticed that's not like challenging, but we talked about this with like your travels and stuff now? Like, what is it that you're incorporating, like focusing on clients, but you also want to do your bucket list and you also want to just kind of see what you want to see and hit your goals? How is that challenging with time, like making sure you have time for all of that?
It definitely takes planning. And I think that wanting to do it all and have time to help other people is kind of where the light bulb went off for me. Is that, in the last few years, I hired a coach and learned how to swim. That was on my bucket list.
So cool.
Never on my bucket list was learning how to scuba dive. But my husband started doing it. And somewhere along the way, I decided I would do it. Then I wanted to get into cycling. So I went out and got a road bike and got a coach to teach me cycling. And I've been pretty passionate about that. And I just thought like all of these things make me feel so good. And I would love to bring people along for that that experience. So I decided to create these fitness vacations or wellness vacations where I plan your whole vacation. You learn how to cook plant-based meals. So we get up, we cook plant-based meals together, we do yoga together, we do workouts together, but we get out and we have tons of fun, mostly in beachy locations together. So the first one will be in Tampa. Because there's so much amazing stuff to do right here at home. But then I'm looking to take these abroad as things really get safe to start traveling, Peru is on my list, thanks to Maggie. Costa Rica, South Africa. I've got a lot of destinations I want to cover. So I just thought, why not bring people along and let them in on what we do as a family that makes life so special for us.
That's amazing because you took what you wanted to do and made it essentially be able to affect a lot of people. Like you wanted people to enjoy the happy, which everybody should do in all of their aspects of life. When you see something that's making you happy or making you healthier, helping you, we should be a community and support each other with it. But we're getting there. I like these vacations abroad. But that's crazy too, right? To think about, like, you're getting families together to come with you to join your travels where they probably think like, I could never do this. And you're like, no, you can. Like, this is how you do it.
Or a lot of people go on vacation and they're very sedentary, sitting, by the beach, having a cocktail, which is great. But I've had those kinds of vacations in the past when I, wasn't where I am now. And, at the end of it, you feel kind of gross. You might have gained weight or your skin broke out and you just don't feel that great, or you feel sluggish going back to work and you just don't feel that great about your vacation. Like, yeah, you had fun. But imagine being able to go on vacation and come back and feel better than you've ever felt and feel ready to continue that healthy lifestyle.
And so your first one's going to be in Tampa. So you haven't had the first one with other people. Of course, you've had it with your family. But so the first one will be in Tampa or Clearwater?
Probably Clearwater Beach. That's where I'm looking. Yeah.
I just love how you're always bringing the beach back.
Yeah.
You're like, I told you this is what I want.
Yeah. And Clearwater Beach is so great. There's so much you can do there. 2 years ago, I took this concept and I tested it out by hosting a family reunion. My mom's side of the family has a huge family. There's like 60 people that showed up for this family reunion on Clearwater Beach. And we brought in a yoga instructor that was amazing. And so I had people of all ages and lifestyles in my family out on the beach doing yoga. And it was so cool because other people were like, wow, your family this is your family. And, there are people at 10 o'clock in the morning drinking cocktails and they're standing there watching my family do yoga on the beach, a Black family at that, which, sometimes I think when you think of certain activities, at least in my experience, there's a lot of activities that people of color feel like, oh, that's not for us because they really haven't seen people doing it. So it was really, really beautiful that we were able to bring a male Black instructor, a yoga instructor, out to the beach with 50 to 60 family members, from kids to older adults. It was really awesome.
What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it
was amazing.
But 2 years ago, and I still hear that was the best family reunion that people really loved. Did you organize it? I did. Oh, I organized the entire thing, and we hosted. Everything was on Clearwater Beach.
Catering and everything.
Catering, boat cruises, everything.
And that's how you knew that you could do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how you tested on your family, though. What a better and critical group to test on.
Right. And I really wanted to show my family that, you can have fun. Mm-hmm. You can have fun while making some of these healthier changes and just getting out and just getting your feet wet with some of these new activities.
Well, let's go into that too. So you have a very diverse client base.
I do.
Do you find that there are certain activities that you hear from maybe like a Maggie, like a white mom individual where she's like, no, maybe I should do yoga or Pilates, like things like that, like a stereotypical exercise where you're incorporating everything?
No, I think, mostly people are open to whatever I throw at them. They're wanting to, feel great.
And you throw everything out there at them, as you should.
I do. Yeah, I do. Depending on what their goals are and what they have time for. Some people are new moms and, may be ambitious at first, thinking they can do 2 to 3 workouts a week, and then get with me and realize, well, maybe I have time for 1 workout a week. And that's, I really, it's important to me to start where people are at.
Do you have any male clients right now?
I do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you find that a challenge at all?
No, I think it's just a little bit different. Men tend to have a little bit different goals.
Mm-hmm.
Women are usually trying to slim down. Some of the guys I work with are trying to bulk up, wanting to gain muscle mass, so gain a little bit of weight. But no.
Do your, when you do nutrition, do you give you talk with them, of course, about their diet and what they're eating now, but do you give them vegan options for them to ease into it? Or is it just not on the table if people are no?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I no, a healthy diet, whether you choose to eat meat or not, it does need to include lots of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So that's always part of the deal.
Yeah. And it's, and people, I theirs with vegan lifestyle, people are oh, you're vegan. How and you're just what? They're just literally eating more plants. Yeah. I love veggies. Yes, I eat my meats here and there, but I'm always just why is it so oh, you're a vegan? Is it because the society has made it so expensive to be vegan some places? When you do the options, it's it's just funny how that is also stereotypical too. So I'm saying as a coach, another just kind of, it's not it's just people, how they react to when you say you're vegan.
Yeah. The word does seem to carry a little bit of a stigmatism.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a different reaction from people when I say plant-based as opposed to when I say vegan. I don't know. Vegan just seems like such a hard word for people to hear or accept.
Isn't that
but
crazy?
It's pretty amazing. In the last 4 years that we've been vegan, there have been friends of mine who used to make fun of us, especially Sean, being a man and being a Black male vegan. Oh, bro, your wife must be making you do this, or I could never do that. And some of those same people
are now plant-based.
Are vegan. They are vegan.
No, we will call them vegan.
Yeah, some of them are vegan. And, I just think that's so awesome because, I love when someone realizes that they have the option to change their mind based on new information.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Education is key.
Yes.
That is a beautiful example. No, they are vegan, and we will call them on the phone right now to let everybody know they're vegan. That's right. I love this. So the next things are your retreats. And what are you calling your vacations?
I'm still working.
Name?
I'm still
no
working.
Fun name yet.
You know what? I'm open to names. So if anyone's listening has a killer name for me, let me know. But my LLC is Tropical Urban Fitness.
Oh,
so TUF, tough. Tropical Urban
I love
Fitness.
that.
Okay.
I love it because you're bringing beach back again.
Yes.
It's always going around.
I'm a tropical person. I'm, every day I live for the outdoors, so
and
every day I'm
Sunscreen
out.
Should have you on the beach testing their product right now.
Right now.
I like the tough part too. I'm a big fan of acronyms.
I am too.
So I do love that. And is that your website or your, how people get a hold of you? Or
so to get a hold of me, you can DM me. I have 2 Instagram accounts, yo.holly on Instagram, and I also run a adventure lifestyle account with my husband called Island Time Vegans with an S on the end. Island Time Vegans on Instagram.
I love that. I didn't know you had that one. I'm going to find it. I also her website and everything will be coming soon, don't worry. But the retreat and it goes along with your other IG. Just slip into her DMs, slide in. But the adventures one. So does your husband post and stuff? Or
and we post about what he's doing as an adventurous, guy. So my husband is a graphic artist, a painting artist, just a creative person. But in this lifestyle change, I'm not sure if I mentioned that not only did he fix the heart issues that he had, Sean lost like 63 pounds from going vegan, and I lost 85. So it's been a huge change for us.
And main goal wasn't weight loss.
It wasn't.
Your body
it wasn't at all. Yeah, but we've definitely enjoyed having so much extra energy and being able to get out and do all these different activities. Well, so my husband went and got scuba certified, fell in love with the sport, and is now on a path to becoming a dive master. So he has this dream of teaching people how to scuba dive and taking them around the world on these retreats to dive at different places. So if you come on one of these retreats, not only will you learn how to incorporate plant-based cooking, you'll meet an awesome community of people who are like-minded. And if you are thinking about scuba diving, you can get to learn how to scuba dive with Sean.
Crazy, right? When you say it, are you just like, yep, this is it? Like, this
yeah,
is
it sounds surreal, but it feels so good to put it out there and talk about what really, what really gives us joy.
Mm-hmm. Because say, well, you guys are 8 years married?
Seven
but say
tomorrow.
Like 10 years ago, do you think you'd be here? Like, I love that when people are like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Who knows? Like, here we are right now. Like,
yeah, it's crazy because, like I said, when we first moved here, I did share, hey, I want to have this outdoorsy lifestyle. I want to do all these things, but we never thought we would be kayaking and scuba diving. What? My husband says all the time. He's like, I can't believe a poor kid from Los Angeles is scuba diving, and just he's done so much out here that we never thought we would be doing. We didn't expect to have a 5-year-old son at this point in our life, and we just feel so blessed.
It's really empowering. I think both of your stories is really empowering. I can't wait to hear when Sonni can tell us the whole thing, just about his parents. I'm super excited. I'm going to interview him next. 5-year-olds are the best. So
he is a very talkative 5-year-old.
Listen, it is so much fun what kids say. Like, I can't even, sometimes you're just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It's a very fun thing to be able to witness every day. Okay. So tell us all the things. We went over your IGs. Do you have a Facebook, an email? Where are we finding Holly Young?
Find me on Instagram. Slide into my DMs, and I'll give you my number. I'll give you a shout. Website is in the works right now as we speak. And if you're not ready to start traveling, I will be hosting online retreats. As a matter of fact, the very first retreat to launch will be an online retreat, and that is coming this summer. I'm finishing up some of the writing for the program, and then we'll be working on visuals, and it'll be out.
I'm looking forward to that because, online is such a big thing right now. And it just gets people from everywhere together. And then it's kind of like you can figure out where you want to kind of make it like local or in person or things like that. But online, it's just like you can reach so many people. Like, why not?
Yeah. And the connections are so amazing. I think it used to feel like, meeting people online was kind of a weird thing to do, but now it's so amazing. You can meet so many cool people who really support you. And I feel like one of the things that my clients, one of the challenges people tend to face is, well, everyone in my house doesn't support what I'm doing right now. And that's unfortunate if you can't get everyone on board. But in the meantime, still go for it. Reach out and have community. I love what's happening in some of these WhatsApp groups that I'm in and Facebook groups where people are linking up with other people who want to travel, who want to be healthy, you know?
And it's showing them that you can do it. Because when you just feel all alone, you're like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah. Or you
So-
might think you're the only person who has the
Struggle.
struggles.
Yeah.
What about the days where you didn't get to the grocery store to buy the things that
You
all
needed.
the healthy things you needed, and you know you feel like I'm messing up. You know, no one else is doing this. Everybody else is on the ball, and then you find out no, you're not alone. There's tons of people who face the same obstacles as you, but let's get them together.
So did you love your first podcast?
Yeah,
Holly did amazing. You can find her on Not a Great Whisperer podcast page at The Real K Ray, KatyRay.com. We're at BKN and Ebor. Do you have anything, last words for the listeners? I mean, they know where to find you. They got all that stuff. But like anything just to kind of maybe get them off the couch today?
Yeah. Well, get off the couch today just because it's going to make you feel
Did I just
better.
give you the word?
Yeah, get off the couch today because it's going to make you feel better. We need sunshine. So hopefully it's sunny wherever you're at and get out and enjoy that. But to go back to the very first thing I talked about, never accept someone else's settle is, you know, what I can think of. If someone else has settled for something and told you, you know, you can't do it because they've decided they can't do it, never accept that. Never, ever, ever accept that. And if there's something that you see someone doing that you think is amazing and you wish you could do it, they're showing you can do it.
I love that. That was perfect. So thank you again for joining. This was amazing.
Thanks for having
and I
me.
appreciate you.